So, I am at a life coach level. That's 4 levels up, as is Emily. And as you move up the chain, it unlocks more levels of commission. Primarily, it's going to be at the coaching level and certainly at the check matching level. But and that's on personal volume, when at the check matching level. But to keep this simple, there are 5 ways to get paid in this plan. If I were to just take some of what Emily does, she has a thriving customer base, and that creates a retail commission component for her. And as people drop into the business and say, hey, why are you selling it? And there's certain things, there unlocks the second component, which would be the team acquisition. So if one person joins and buys 1 bottle, it's 20. You have the pro pack, it's 60. And you have the executive pack at 120. That's a one-time bonus. The coaching bonus, I'm going to skip over for a second. What everybody is looking at right now is the team commissions. And that's how really everybody has been coached in the right way or guided in the right way, in that as this business keeps growing by 200, 300 people a day, as you come into the business and you were at number 5,000, as you unlock and start to sponsor more people and go on auto ship, as we talk about, and I'll get into personal volume in a minute, you're creating volume for your team. It's more ways for you to get through cycles. Everybody looks at that portion and says, I don't get it. Well, there's one leg that they're going to take 600 points from, which is 5 bottles. And they're going to have one leg, which is 400 points, which is 3 bottles. And as you activate and sponsor people on your left and right legs, it's going to unlock more levels in the compensation plan. But if we were to just keep it simple to the team commissions, there's spillover volume coming up above you as they add more people. So if you're number 5,000, and all of a sudden we're at 6,000 or 7,500, depending on how many people you've sponsored, you're starting to get more contribution volume from the people that are added after you, that come from any other distributor that happen to be in your leg. So what you want to graduate to is the high class problem of, okay, how do I create in that 4th bucket of commission, the team commissions, how do I create enough volume on both my legs to get enough cycles, right? 417 is the magic number. I still haven't been able to give somebody a logical explanation of that. I'm going to just position that to the multi-level gods, that this is the right way for the company to stay in business and for us to always be compensated at these levels. But your lesser leg, the leg that has less volume, when you look in your volume page in your back office, they're going to take 400 points for each cycle and match it versus the strong leg and take 600 points from that. If you can get up to 5, 10, 15, 20 and keep building that, that's the biggest source of commission in your paycheck weekly. All right. And then as you go from promoter to coordinator to coach, you're going to start getting that at the coach level, those coaching bonuses. First, it's 20%. At life coach, it's 50%. So if I added Emily to my team, I get the team acquisition bonus. Then I get a coaching bonus based on that one-time hit of the team acquisition bonus. But it's 50% at my level. So it's like you're getting 1.5 times for everybody you sponsor that first time as a distributor. Then it's all about them and why everybody's on this call. It's all about them sponsoring other people, generating volume, and that adds to the biggest bucket, which is the team commissions. Check matches and levels as you go up, it's a 5th source. It will get bigger as we get bigger, because your first level is 15%, second level is 10%, and then it's 5% from levels 3 to 7. So to give you an example, Emily's on my 3rd level. And I always see this big, nice number from Emily, and then I look over and I see 5%, and that's what I get. And it's funny, but as you look up at the top of your checks, as you guys progress in this business and mature in it, you see your retail commissions, you see your team acquisition bonus, you see your coaching bonus, you see your team commissions, and your matching bonus. And if you're any bit of a nut or a nerd like me, you start to figure out what percentages of those components of the check start to grow. And every week, I guarantee you, it's the team commission volumes that create the most money for you. So as you get encouraged in the business, just keep growing those legs. You'll get spillover volume. It'll unlock more contribution volume from that spillover. And I'll just stop there for a second just to say, where else do you want me to go into more depth? I know I said
I just think we need to encourage people, the ones, we're glad, everybody that signed up, that's great, because we're going to go and blow. But if you've gotten your first 2 people, we just need to work towards coordinator, because once you hit coordinator, it unlocks a whole nother, like your paycheck will double, you know, if not more. So I just think, you know, whatever we can do, use us, leverage us to make phone calls, help you close people, so to speak, you know, whatever we can do to help you reach people, send the video, keep it simple, follow up, you know.
Yeah, and just to add to that, like, a lot of you are going through the frustration of like, I've signed 6 people up and I don't see any change in my paycheck. That's because these people that you've signed up are just starting to get the wheels turning. It's you as sort of a business leader to say, hey, where do you need help? Just like Emily said, where can we start to think about the follow-up? Who are you contacting? Are you making a list? How are you presenting it to people? Is it the video? Are you still interested? It's the next set of information. Are you still interested? It's the follow-up process. And then not wasting more of a moment when somebody's like, I just don't get the opportunity yet, and they want to become your pen pal. Just say, hey, let's come back to that later, honestly. But your friends, and I know this is going to shock because a lot of you are friends on this Facebook Live, your friends a lot of times won't respond the way you hope they do. It may take somebody who's an iteration of a friend. Emily and I have a mutual friend in between us, okay? Emily does a fantastic job of building this business, thinking long-term, and we would have never come in contact had it not been for our mutual friend. That's just kind of the way this works in this business. There will be levels of people that come in that may be a step or 2 away from you, but you've made contact with a friend or loved one and you care about, and you're just about friendship and health and spreading that. And it's that person that really takes this seriously and is business minded and goes forth. So don't get frustrated when you don't see it immediately pop. Keep adding, keep leveraging, keep educating, and keep the mind share going, because I promise you, I don't know the 530 people on my team. That's spillover volume top. That's Emily driving volume I'm getting squeezed in here. That's why I still don't have any furniture. But the point is that it's less than 4 months old for me. I come from a long business background, as does Emily, and I'm sure a lot of you do. Don't get too caught up in the multi-level process. Okay? Those are the things that get us like, where's my paycheck going to be? Where is my this and that going to be? Just start building. Realize how the product leads the charge, and be consistent with it. And that's the easiest way to get this moving.
I think a lot of people are frustrated because we have no product right now. And, you know, as Kevin, what did you say this morning? It was like, I'd rather be on this bumpy road than be number 500,000 or whatever.
Yes.
That was smooth, right?
That was so close. It's almost like I never said it. Well done, Emily. It's almost like that's a completely different statement. What my esteemed colleague and boss is trying to say is that if we're at 7,300 people right now and going through the speed bumps and challenges of this business, whether it be the air in the pump, whether it be the right dosage, whether it be how do I get my legs growing, whether it be where is the product, is it shipping, okay? When I think of this in my 25 years in business, I am so happy that I'm number 233 in this business, knowing that if I waited until there's 100,000 people or 1 million people, a tipping point, and they've worked out all the kinks, and a lot of the opportunity has gone with them working and becoming a mature business, I will take this path every time, because these are small near-term challenges. We will have products, right? You can still speak to it even without using it. You can leverage Emily. You can leverage your friends and say, my good friend Emily has gone through this trial. Let her speak to you about what her testimony is, because it might unlock a thought process. And then we all have, because of the FTC, a 30-day money-back guarantee. If we're dead wrong and lying to you, you're getting your money back. So let's be open-minded about this and think of the opportunity ahead, because it's 13 times to 100,000, right? So that means it's 130 times to 1 million people. That's how early this is. And everybody should be saying, okay, I just don't have what I want yet, but I'm going to keep working towards that.
Okay. Do you want to talk about commercial accounts? I think a lot of people have questions. I think some people are just focused on commercial accounts, and I wouldn't totally focus on commercial accounts, but I think I think they're great. I think they're good money. I think that, you know, Kevin, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's best if you have a contact instead of just going in cold to these businesses. And, you know, they really need to be more small business instead of, you know, we aren't going to sign big, giant commercial nationwide accounts. I mean, New You Life doesn't want that, you know, national chains. It's just not going to happen. So I've been talking to a lot of people, you know, but if you have a trainer in a smaller gym or a facialist or somebody that you have a contact with, you know, I think it's good to go in that way.
Yeah, you know, I have friends who've walked into Vitamin Shop or GNC, or, you know, we had a playful conversation with somebody who thought they were going to sell through Equinox, which was fantastic. But, you know, these national chains will immediately say, stop right there, call corporate, and corporate takes away all the price elasticity and flexibility.
Right.
That's why it's not so much that New You Life won't deal with it. It just doesn't behoove us to sell into a national chain. You will not make $1 with that. In this plan, if you think about it, whether it be the individual business owner in a spa, a gym, a doctor, a chiropractor, a vitamin shop, could be a retail herbal store. You know, there are things that will make sense on a small level or a regional level, and where they'll see the opportunity. Very rarely in multi-level do you have this much profit margin. You know, Alex Goldstein owns the product, so he's not licensing this out to us. That creates more compensation for us in the multi-level plan. But just to take the retail component on a commercial level and say, okay, they bought 40 bottles, it's $90 per, that's $3,600. They immediately give you a $520 commission, knocks it down to almost 3,000. Then you get these 1,500 points in personal volume, which if I just divide that by 400 and say that's in my lesser leg, you get to about $150, right? Just it's, you know, just work with me there, but let's just call it $100. Now you're below $3,000. If you take 3,000 divided by 40, you're less than $75, or you're just about 75 or less. Now sell it at the 150 price and the 170 price for the one-off bottle guy that just says, hey, I just want to try it. It's 100% plus profit. So they'll see the profit margin, plus the product works, which is very rare in anything that we've come across in. So they'll say, wait a minute, you know what? At this rate, at 100% profit, I only need to sell 20 bottles to break even, essentially. So they'll understand the value of this if the product moves. And that's where it's so, I'd say, such a great opportunity for those businesses that everybody's involved in or works for and just leverages it up the chain and say, hey, I've got a great product. I'd love to get your opinion on it. It's an opportunity, I think, for a real compliment to what we're doing. That's kind of how people have already gotten involved. I mean, we've even had one doctor, I think, say that he wanted to buy 5,000 bottles. We were like, okay, you know, we can't do that yet. But there will be people that really understand this opportunity and say, I want this in bulk, you know, and Emily happens to be one of them, right? You know, you've seen that how that's worked in your own process. It's not saying that every 40 bottles will fly off the shelves like the first 40. However, you understand business and you understand how this works in terms of a profit margin. Plus, some of these people decide that they like the business enough to be sponsored by you. So it will work the same way for the retail or commercial guy. He will get distributors that work for him just because they'll come back to him and go, what's the deal with this thing? And he can leverage that into the conversation.
Right.
Or she. Let me be very clear. He or she. What else can I just completely ruin your day about?
This is good. No, it's good. I think it's good. I think people are still struggling with placing people. I did do a video, which helped Kevin greatly, about how to place people in your binary. It's on the distributor page, and I will further help you. We just need to, you know, the whole name of the game is keeping your volumes balanced, and that's how you get paid. And we can help you any way we can. You know, you build your outside legs and you place people at the bottom of your right leg and the bottom of your left leg. And then the person above you helps you build those legs. So, you know, we're here to help you any way we can, but if you can get on and watch that video, because I need to train you and you need to train your people, just so that we're all on the same page.
I know that everybody will love to hear this. There's probably a lot of very capable people on the live Facebook, and they have other parts of their lives, right? They have families to raise, other businesses that they're focused on. But if you and I look back at the reps and the repetition that we've had since January, right? Introducing somebody to the conversation, doing these live formats, trying to get up to speed on not only how the product works for our body, but how the mechanics work of this plan. It becomes second nature, and it behooves everybody, because I understand that the barrier to entry, like, oh, I got to pay X, and now I've got to use the product, and now I got to listen to all these videos. If you're like us, it's fascinating because you'll feel your body going through these changes, and it'll naturally prompt you to want to learn more. And as you start to hear the success in the upline, as you hear how Emily's team is growing, or my team, or John LaPresto's, or Chris Cavanaugh's team's growing, it will incentivize you naturally to just start to say, what else can I learn in the process to get it to a simpler, seamless, more tight, replicatable process for myself and my team. I think that's just another way to think about it as you guys are going through these daily reps. It's a half hour a day. It's 20 minutes a day. It's just, what am I doing right now? I'll just put an earpiece in, put the TV on mute, and just listen to what this, bag of wind has to say about the marketing plan or this and that. I'm kidding. But, it is very beneficial to get that repetition because it becomes second nature.
Emails about, well, what are you doing and how are you getting it? And I don't understand why I'm not, making any money yet. But the truth is I'm throwing everything I have into this. I also run another business that I have to keep going, but I just know that I believe in this product 100%. I see the results, and I see this plan that's amazing, and I'm starting to see results in the volume that's coming up. So I'm starting to make money, and it will happen for every single person that decides, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. You can't just sign up and not do anything, and I think that's where we're a little bit different, is that we do work all day long, and I am still on calls and shooting emails at 11 o'clock at night. And, cause I'm hoping in a year I'll then be on vacation.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because there's somebody in a different line of business has been working 2 years straight on building a massive team and is now up to 6 figures in commission. And they're taking the entire summer off to go to Europe with their family. But that's after 2 years of sweat equity, right? Of following a discipline. And it's as simple, I know what I can hear his words. It applies to this business. Give me 4 good hours a week to make 6 figures in this business, like dedicated 4 hours, 5 hours, and then see where that takes you. And then on top of that, just start to get in the habit of making a checklist. Here are the 5 people I'm going to contact. No, maybe, get back. No, yes. And where you're going to follow up. The ones that are no, it's no for now. I promise you. This is a when product, not an if product. Just say, okay, no energy. I'll come back to it. I prompted Emily today about a friend of mine that I've known forever who happens to have a thyroid condition and has been adamant about 4 months not using it. And finally, he's like, tell me the benefits you're getting again. That's 4 months later. Now, he's a good friend. We dropped the conversation, but I'm just telling you that I said, Emily, you have 5 minutes for this guy with an email response about how you've taken this, that, and the other. And that's how you just are mindful of the people you care about, and even the people that you've just come in contact with. I assure you, this is a when product, not an if product. So if you've got your list of no's, keep them. And go back 6 months later and say, by the way, I have 1,000 people on my team. I get X amount of check. Would love to just see if you still have a no, or would like to know more about the product. I'm pretty dangerous in this. I can help you out. Guarantee you it's a different conversation.
Yeah. And some of the no's, the no might be a reason for, like Kevin's friend, hey, I'm on thyroid medicine. It's a no. Well, I'm on thyroid medicine. So leverage me, use me so I can talk about the safety of this, or, or Kevin. I mean, everybody has a different experience or a different background, or, different medical condition. And so, go back, listen to the talks that Alex talked about, and really explains the product. So, the Somaderm gel, the HGH, backwards and forwards, and you will feel confident enough to explain. And, I have people in this 3 months that are still texting me questions that they should know the answer to 100%. I learned on day one. So I feel like we really, maybe I'm not doing a good job, and we just need to educate better on the HCH. One thing I wanted to go through, another kind of off on that is, there's another group that was started by an offspring a little higher than us, that has about 20,000 people in it. And it's some testimonials. It's, how do I explain the group, Kevin? It's
Is
monitored
it the group
by,
that I'm thinking about?
Yes. But there are a few of us that are in it, and there are a lot of people giving advice that are not, it's not correct advice. It's very wrong advice. People that have maybe been on the product a month telling people, how to use it, things that are not true about the product. And, if you really do have any questions, please don't get your information from that page. Ask me, ask Kevin, ask your distributor. We get our information from Alex, and I feel like we just need to all be on the same page and not be giving our new distributors misinformation.
I'll just add to that. I don't think they have necessarily. I think Emily and I talk about it with John and a number of people about what is your plan and philosophy? Is it long term, right?
Right.
I don't want anybody to feel like they need to make a short term solution or give short term advice just to get an elicited response. I'm sure those people have good intentions, but it might be motivated by, how do I have a land grab? How do I get this person enticed this way? So I think, to Emily's point, which is very beneficial for everybody to hear, is if something doesn't sound right to you, or you get a piece of advice, always check it. Always take that piece of mind share, leverage it up in your line. Like, hey, I saw this on a website. I saw this out. And like, we have a question that's right here that about where's the research or clinical studies? Everybody's looking for the guaranteed answer. And I would say the FDA doesn't allow that. We're not going to have that for a long time as far as any kind of evidence that says it worked for Emily this way, so therefore it'll work for the masses the same way. That's why this product is so unique, is that it really does have a safety clause from the FDA to say it's safe for men and women over 18. But skipping back to the information a little bit, always check, right? Take this to your doctor. If somebody says, hey, I think you should use 3 pumps in the morning, just say, hey, you know what? Ask Emily or ask Kevin, or can I ask you, because you brought me into the business, where can I find out a little bit more information? I think everybody who's early has an aggressive nature, and some of these websites are putting out information that I think you should just be mindful and check. I just know for our team, I don't have to worry about saying anything for anybody else. It's just that we're all about the long term. We're all about best practices, integrity, doing the right thing, and making sure everybody on this team feels like they're getting enough support and resources so they can just go out and do very well in this business and let the product lead the charge.
Right. And I also want to encourage, we've come across a few sticky situations where, even in Dallas, Texas, we're becoming large around here, and you're going to have friends of friends that sign up with other people, and you look in the binary and you're like, oh, wait, why did they sign up with, I want us to be encouraging, as Kevin said, to have integrity and best practices. And if somebody is signed up for auto ship under someone, or somebody is in conversation with another distributor, I just want to make sure that we are encouraging and just say, yes, how can I encourage you to sign up with that person who's already started a conversation? I want to be, we're all on a team here. And so this thing is going to get so big, and there's so many other distributors, there are so many other customers, that I just want to encourage each other and not, I think you know where I'm going.
Emily, since I already know where you're going, since you thoughtfully reinforce it into my head every minute, I just want to say one other thing. Let's take Emily for a second, okay? She's got 300 to 400 people, 400 people plus on her team. It would bother Emily if one of those people said, you know what, I came on to Emily's team, I was going with another person, but she cut me off the pass and then said, well, you want to be on Emily's team, you don't want to be on that person's team because we're going to do this, this, and this. And it's that one person or that one instance that will define your entire existence in this business model. You're better off saying, if that person wants to go to another team because somebody else enticed them, let them go. You're not rooting against them, but that's just not going to fit into your framework or your philosophy. Let that person follow their business sense on that team if they're willing to make that type of short-term decision and say, I know Emily contacted me first, but Kevin really looked like a better fit and he came right at me. That's not what we're preaching here, and that's not what you guys do, I'm pretty sure of. But just be mindful of that, because if I end up with 1 million people on my team, which is very likely, it will bother me if somebody said, well, he did this short term, or he cut me off at the pass, or I have a bad thing to say about it. It's not because I need to be popular. Clearly, look, I have no furniture, and I wasn't in makeup today. It's awful. What I will tell you, from an integrity standpoint and reputation standpoint, all I care about is that I treated people the way I wanted to be treated, not only in this business, but just in how I dealt with them. So that's just something we all need to remind ourselves. I know we're all adults, but that's really what this is about. You'll get there the right way. You don't have to think short term.
Right. Okay. Should we touch a little bit on, what's the best way to, really quick, because I'm still getting about which video to send, or how, what's the best way really to contact somebody, just to start the conversation. And that way maybe people can start a conversation this weekend with some people.
Okay. Well, there have been a number of instances right through calls we've had with John, and certainly all the way up to the upline of Chris Cavanaugh, of how the video is making it easy, right? Watch this video. Let me follow up with you right after. Do you understand the opportunity, what this is presenting?
Right.
Would you like to know more? Okay. I was literally shipping something not but an hour ago. And sometimes it's as easy as somebody just offers, like the guy was like, I've had 8 back surgeries. My back is killing me. And could you move this package over this way? So that's an easy conversation, because all you care about is this guy being able to move freely and see if this could help. So he took the information. He was like, yeah, anything that could maybe help. And so I had the video right there, because Emily made me a nice little care package. She's like, Kevin, this is how you download a video. So I sent that video to him, but it was as simple as that. And he knows to be able to get back in touch with me if it's of interest. We're just trying, as we evolve in this process, and we're 4 months into it, we're finding that it's a tighter cycle. It's less information up front. It's more about you're on the balls of your feet and say, I know this opportunity exists once in a lifetime. I want to share this with you. I think this is something that is absolutely unique unto itself. Watch this video, read this brochure, check out this piece of data I'm sending you with you, and I'd like to follow up with you. It's okay for those that have been in the business a longer than 2 weeks. You know what this is. That's why you're here. It's okay to speak like that and say that, because it's true. We are touching on something that is growing by leaps and bounds, and it is so early. And most of you feel what we feel with the 93% retention. I'm pretty sure that only 7% just have gotten frustrated, or, they felt something. They just didn't want to continue with it for mitigating circumstances. So I would just say, keep it simple. Start with the video. If somebody offers a piece of information, I guarantee you could throw a stone at anybody and they're ailing from something and just say, hey, I've tried this. This has been really great for me, and speak first person. But those things align.
Right. I just think there's an urgency. And if we can help you in any way, really, again, leverage us. I had somebody yesterday that said this was just on her list to do. And that cracked me up. I was like, this is my list to do. So,
Emily, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Have you posted the video, the 3.5-minute video on your website?
I have. And I think what I'll do is keep posting. There are 3 videos. There's the 3-minute video from New You Life. And then on John Lepresto, our buddy, he, on his other leg, 2 guys made a couple of other videos. And I think those are good too. And really, it's up to you, your discretion. They're all 3 good. I think they all 3 start conversations. So everybody keeps asking me which one is best. I've used them all. I think one really is more geared towards distributors and then the other 2 could be used for anyone. So, I get a lot of people that just want to try it and be on auto ship. I do talk to them about, the business and what it is to be a distributor, and it's, $50 extra to come in and just in case. But, I am not pushy. And if they want to come in as an auto ship customer, let them come in as an auto ship customer. You need customers too. It does build your retail base. So, if anybody has any questions, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you have had instances, and I have too, where somebody says, what's the customer price? And then you tell them what the entry is in as a distributor, and they're like, really? It's only that much more to be able to maybe be grandfathered in the business? So it's just whether it's an extra data point to say, okay, it's either $30 difference from the retail price or $50 difference from the retail price. If that's something that's in your budget, you're grandfathered in. And oh, by the way, both have 30-day money-back guarantees.
Right. And I have people kicking themselves that they waited till number 6,000 and didn't jump in at 500 when I was telling them about it at the very beginning. And I think we'll still have people at the end of next month kicking themselves at 20,000, that didn't sign up at 7,000. I mean, this thing is tripling every month. And so, as we go through these little hiccups every single, first we had 5 weeks of no credit card processor, and we made it through that. Now we have no product, and yet we still are growing beyond our control. I think we have something.
I would just say for those, since the product was announced that it would not ship, we were at about 100 to 150 a day. Now we're at 200, 250, 300 a day. So this is the person, you just can't reach. And it will be back in circulation within a couple, 3 weeks. I would not fret about the product, honestly. I know everybody wants to start their trial and be able to say, I can validate the product and speak to it. That is authentic. That is true. But there is so much education and mind share available and repetition in the process already, and it just keeps getting tighter, that you still have that money back process. You're not tied to anything. The product is that good. They want to give you that type of support. I think those are the things that people need to think about. And to your point just a few minutes ago, Emily, I have a number of people who are like, I wish I hadn't ordered just 1 bottle. And I don't want to upsell anybody.
Oh, big time. Now they wish they ordered the 8-pack.
Now they're like, can I go back and order this? And I'm like, no.
Well, you can. You can switch your pack within like 6 weeks or something, but it doesn't help now.
I tell them no. I completely, that's the only fake news I put out there. I'm like, no, you're stuck with this. This is penance. You cannot have another bottle. But, to your point, you in one hand want to be able to put somebody in a bottle today, and the other hand, you want to be applying this. You want to be able to validate what you're doing. And then it's not to have inventory. It's just so you have the ability to do things in a very low economically invasive way, like to say, okay, I can sell you this bottle today. Plus, if you want to sign up, those are the things that you just think about. If you're just filling out a 15-minute application, where do you get this type of opportunity for less than $1,000? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. So I would say for people watching, go make a list. Make a list of the people that you can first reach out to. I mean, I told friends and family before I ever was on the gel. I just told them about the opportunity, had 4 or 5 people signed up before I ever tried it. And then, sat back, tried the product. 2-3 weeks later, I was ready to go. 2 weeks probably. But I can only encourage you even now without product to run and just tell people about the opportunity. Start your teams. Use Kevin, use myself, like how I put that first. We're here to jump on a call with you. We just write out our schedule every day and what calls we're jumping on. And that's what I want to help you. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and post them, and then we can wrap this up because it's Saturday and got more calls.
I'll add two things. I'm going to run down your tail of the tape, right? You
okay.
If memory serves, you have Wynn Jackson, who's your husband.
Yes.
You have Terry Carter, who's your mom. You have 3 wonderful children. You have 2 dogs, one that constantly gets placed in places it shouldn't be. And that's something to work out with the kids. So by that right there, that's 2, 3, that's 8. And then you have this giant man child with no furniture who's probably never going to be invited back to your Facebook's Live again unless he gets a plant or something to accentuate the room, since you have an interior decorating. But somehow you seem to make time and be able to grow your business because you're looking at your week in terms of 168 hours and how can I prioritize my day and accomplish all of it, right? You look at this as an opportunity, not so much like, if I can just get to this. So I just say for those that are on the phone that have comparable schedules and lives, not mine, right? It's more about Emily, what she puts out there in terms of effort and time and affordability to coach others. It does tell you that you can do this. It's something that is replicatable. And she is absolutely, I'm pointing at myself, giving the path to people that are like Kevin's to say, here's how you can organize your day and get all of it accomplished and have some fun with it, right? She's enjoying herself, right? So that's something just, I would say, I don't have anything more to add. It's not to always use you as an example, Emily, but I think it's such a great example for people to understand this is achievable.
Yes, I think so. Hold on. I was trying to, I'm getting text message questions, but I can't read them. So
I can read them. It says which video is best, and then one.
No, I mean through my text message, but I'm on my phone. So if everybody will post questions here on Facebook
looks like
Live.
Is there an earthquake in Dallas? There's a lot of movement down there.
It's my arm getting tired. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've covered enough stuff today. If anybody needs anything, text me, email. We're here. We really truly just want to help you guys grow your teams, and if we can do anything to help, please let us know.
Yes, it's a pleasure always, Emily. This much FaceTime, I'm going to pinch myself for all your friends to say, oh, this is just it's too good to be true, really.